Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Ganesh Bhardwaj and today we are going to dissect the third Ashes Test match played at the MCG between Australia and England. The Boxing Day Test match at the iconic MCG. But before we get to the analysis part of the match, I would like you all to please subscribe, share, like and comment this video. Now moving on to the cricketing part. This Ashes series has been the same from the first test match. The same story repeating itself again and again in every test match. England's fragile batting lineup up against experienced bowling attack of the Australians. England are not up to the mark and haven't accommodated well to the English conditions, and I fear that if England cricket keep plummeting like this, then the test cricket could be in danger in one of its spiritual home, that is England. Now moving on, Joe Root, it is again a one-man army. He is again a one-man army for England. If he scores runs, England get to a respectable total. If he doesn't, England doesn't get to a respectable total. If he scores a century, the 200 or 300 run mark is breached for England. If he doesn't, then England are in a vulnerable situation. And in cricket, it is a team game. You have to contribute as a team. You can't depend on one person. So England are at their utmost vulnerability, and to eradicate that vulnerability, they identified some positions and made changes, as many as 4 changes. Their opening combination changed. Haseeb Hameed and Zach Crawley was opening the bowling. They brought in the extra yard of pace in form of Mark Wood replacing Chris Woakes. They brought in a spinner in form of Jack Leach. But as I said, if you can't get a good first inning total in a test match, the first inning total is very much important in a test match. It sets up the test match, as we all know, as all cricket pundits around the world say, and they have been failing to do so. They haven't batted well in the first innings at the Gabba. They folded out for 147. It was a similar story. They folded out for 185 in the first innings here at Melbourne. It was similar conditions to Gabba and MCG. Early morning rains at the MCG delayed the start, and respecting the conditions and taking the favour of the conditions, Australian returning captain won the toss and elected to bowl first because of the cloudy weather conditions and also because of the pitch, which was a greenish pitch with 11 millimeter of the grass and aiding seam movement. So there was England batting is fragile, it is timid, they have lost patience, and you know that in test cricket, if you lost the patience, then you've lost the match. You have to keep leaving the balls outside the off stump. You have to do the basics for long period of time. You have to give respect to the bowlers when the conditions are in their favor, and that's what England haven't done in this test match. There are some technical deficiencies also in their opener Haseeb Hameed. He is not playing the ball beneath his eyes, which is one of the fundamental basics of batting. Many of the batters are going out because of the attacking shots that they are playing. They are not sustaining the pressure. They are not leaving the ball. They are flashing outside of stump. Joe Root made a 50. He looked good. He looked busy, but He again flashed a delivery outside off stump and of Mitchell Starc that was angling across and caught the edge and straight to Carey. As I said, Haseeb Hameed is not playing the ball under his eyes. He's going searching for it, and with the Australian conditions where there is high bounce and pace, you don't go searching. It is one of the dangerous things that you can do on these Australian pitches. These Australian pitches have high bounce and pace, and especially this MCG track, which has 11 millimeter of grass, hard grass, live grass, which is aiding seam movement, and you are up against some of the best bowlers, Pat Cummins and Mitchell Starc, Nathan Lyon. Scott Boland is inexperienced, but he has done very well. This was his home ground at Victoria. He's played 79 first class matches, so he's pretty much first class experienced. It was just some small partnerships between Ben Stokes and Johnny Bairstow, between Malan and Root. But if you have to get those runs, you have to stitch long partnership of 80, of 100, not of 30s or 40s. These are not going to win you matches. Joe Root is a one-man army for England, and this is plenty much of worry for the English team. Yes, we know that his captaincy future would be decided on this Ashes series, as he said in the press conferences quite a few times. But these the flaws of this England batting lineup are not going to solve. These are not technical flaws. These are basic fundamental flaws. They are not they are not leaving the ball outside off stump. They are going for wild slog. They are going for aerial shots more often than not, and the catching in the deep has been brilliant for Australia. They are yet again bundled out for about 185 runs in 61 overs, and if you are bundled out for such a small meager total of first innings, you have to get early wickets in which Australia batted very firmly. There was question marks over Marcus Harris' form, but he left well. He defended, he played underneath the bat. There was quite some streaky strokes, but he continued, and from the other end, there was a natural, aggressive player called David Warner. Their bowling attack also, England's bowling attack also is not up to the mark. They're either bowling too full to be driven down the ground. They're bowling too short to be cut. So, there are quite some flaws both in their batting and bowling lineups. They are making amends to their playing 11s, but this is not working for them. So they have to check. They have to clear these technical flaws, because it is a very inexperienced team. Zach Crawley is very young. Haseeb Hameed is very young. In terms of experience, Jack Leach is very young. So they have got a very young batting lineup, and Ollie Pope is very young. All these batters are very young, and in these young stages, if you can't eradicate those basic flaws that they are making, or can't correct those basic flaws, then I fear that England cricket are in deep trough. They are plummeting. Since the start of 2021, it has been a one-man army, and it is continuing to be. Australia marching on 65 for 1 at the end of the day's play. That one wicket was of David Warner, who was going hard at the bowlers, but the class of Jimmy Anderson just bowling round the wicket and angling it across the left hander, getting the edge and to the slips. But this very meager small first innings total could be a big worry, because if Australia piles on the runs tomorrow, some 300 or 400 runs, then you have to first eradicate that big lead and then set the total for the fourth inning for Australia, which is going to be very much hard task. So hard task awaits England, and Australia are comfortably in driving seat in this third test match. It seems like the subplot is same, but the numbers are changing. The test match numbers are changing, and they have to correct those technical flaws as soon as possible, because England cricket are in a very deep trouble. That's all from here. Thank you very much, and as I take your leave, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe and comment on my video. Thank you very much.